Hello and welcome to Wisdom Forge. Memory retrieval and consolidation, how the brain recalls and stores information. Introduction to memory retrieval systems. The brain does not store memories in a single, centralized location like a library with neatly organized books. Instead, memories are distributed across various regions, each contributing different elements, sights, sounds, emotions, and context. Retrieving a memory is not as simple as pulling a book off a shelf. It often involves reconstructing fragments of information scattered throughout the brain. Researchers have proposed two models to explain how this works: the library model and the detective model. The library model suggests that fresh memories can be accessed precisely, like finding a specific book. However, as time passes, details fade, and the brain switches to a detective-like approach, piecing together clues, sometimes even inventing missing parts, to reconstruct the memory. The library model of memory retrieval. In the early stages after learning, memories can be retrieved with high accuracy, much like locating a book in a well-organized library. When you recall a recent event, such as what you ate for breakfast, your brain accesses a relatively intact and detailed record. This model works well for short-term retrieval, where information is still crisp and unaltered. However, over time, memories degrade, and the brain must rely on other methods to reconstruct them. This explains why eyewitness testimony is most reliable immediately after an event but becomes less accurate as time passes. The detective model, how memories are reconstructed. As memories age, they become fragmented, and the brain must act like a detective, assembling clues to reconstruct the past. Unlike the library model, which assumes precise storage, the detective model acknowledges that memories are often incomplete. The brain fills in gaps using logic, assumptions, and even unrelated past experiences. This explains why two people can remember the same event differently. Each brain reconstructs the memory based on its own interpretations. Studies have shown that when people recall childhood experiences decades later, their accounts often contradict what they originally reported. This demonstrates how easily present knowledge can reshape past memories. The role of repetition in strengthening memory. One of the most effective ways to ensure long-term retention is repetition, but not just any repetition, spaced repetition. Cramming information in a single session is far less effective than revisiting it over spaced intervals. Research shows that when learners review material multiple times with breaks in between, retention improves dramatically. This is because each repetition reinforces neural connections, making the memory more stable. A real-world example is language learning. Practicing vocabulary words over weeks leads to better recall than trying to memorize them all in one night. Two types of memory consolidation, fast and slow. Memory consolidation occurs in two phases: fast consolidation, synaptic, and slow consolidation, system-wide. Fast consolidation happens within minutes or hours, where repeated neural firing strengthens connections between specific brain cells. However, these changes are temporary unless reinforced. Slow consolidation, on the other hand, can take years. During this time, memories gradually transfer from the hippocampus, a short-term memory hub, to the cortex, responsible for long-term storage. This explains why some memories remain vivid decades later, while others fade quickly without reinforcement. The importance of forgetting, why our brain discards information. Forgetting is not a flaw, it's a necessary function of memory. The brain prioritizes information that is most relevant to survival, discarding what it deems unimportant. Without forgetting, we would be overwhelmed by trivial details, much like the Russian journalist Solomon Shershevsky, who remembered everything but struggled to see patterns or meaning in his memories. Forgetting allows us to focus on what truly matters, making our cognitive processes more efficient. Practical applications: how to improve memory and learning in work. To optimize memory retention, we should 1. Space out learning sessions instead of cramming. 2. Use elaborative rehearsal, discussing and applying information rather than passively memorizing. 3. Incorporate real-world examples to make learning meaningful. 4. Review key concepts periodically to reinforce long-term retention. These strategies are valuable not just for students but also for professionals training in new skills or companies onboarding employees. Thank you, and let's stay connected. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. If you found this video valuable, imagine what you'll learn next. Subscribe to Wisdom Forge and hit the bell icon so you never miss more thought-provoking content, practical wisdom for everyday life, the tools to unlock your full potential. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway or what topics you'd like to see next. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning.